For the first time ever in the history of marketing, the content creates the distribution. The way every other platform for 100 years has worked, from radio to billboard to direct mail to television to the whole internet, was you made a picture or video and then you paid money to try to get in front of people. For the first time ever, and it did not matter how good your video or picture was. If you made a shitty commercial, NBC did not give you their money back. They took it and it ran. For the first time ever, the quality of the creative creates the distribution. There are people in this room who do not have a TikTok account, who tomorrow can open one, have 0 followers, and if they make a quality piece of creative that is interesting to the masses, could have 1 million people see it. This is unprecedented. This matters big, and here's where it becomes atomic. The OTTs and fast channels and streaming services are building their ad product more like that than like television. And so we are in a crash course in the next 5 to 7 years where every ad above the line, as they call it, television, and all of social will be now in a place where the creative is a variable to the success greater than we've ever seen. And the practitioners, I sit here today as a man who knows the difference between putting the same picture on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, Facebook main feed, like all these platforms. I know the difference of what it needs to look like, what the first 3 seconds need to look like, what the title needs to look like, what time to post it, how much copy, which hashtags. This is a skill. This is not your 22-year-old fucking niece doing this for your company. This is a massive skill, and it's the most important skill, and I think everybody here is punting it and having it as their 15th to 80th biggest priority. And I believe from the Utah Jazz to an entrepreneur out here on day one, the craft of producing 30, 40, 50, 60 ads a day, 30, 40, 50, 60 a day across 11 platforms, targeting different demos. This is for the female fans. This is for the female 32 to 40-year-old fans who like Taylor Swift and go to yoga. This is for 55 to 57-year-old African-American fans who like Jay-Z. Like deep segmentation, 30, 40, 50 segmentations. If you're a B2B SaaS business, this is for the CFOs on LinkedIn and Fortune 5000 companies where we're gonna make copy and creative that tells them how much money they will save if they use our SaaS product because they're a CFO, and you fucking CFOs out there, you love saving money. This the time, even if you're one of those people that's heard this from me 99 times, and definitely if you've never heard this from me, please listen to me. Everything on earth is based on communication. Everything. Like it's way bigger than you think. And I can't believe in 2023, heading into 2024, how many of you here do not take social media serious. It has the far majority of our country's attention, the world's attention on it. And let me say this nice and slow, right? This is business 101. It's free. The distribution is free. Of course you can run ads on it, and of course it costs money to make a video or things of that nature. But you're not calling the Jazz for sponsorship, and Ryan's like, yeah, no problem, put your patch on my jersey, it's free. You can't get a newspaper ad for free. Google is not free. You can't do a commercial for free. Radio ads are not free. For the first time, distribution is potentially free. And for the real players in this room, and this is a big one, Ryan, for the real players in this room, you know that we've gone through a massive transformation in social media in the last 24 months, which I refer to as the TikTokification of social media. And what that means is the following. I invested 17 years ago in 3 companies. They were the first 3 companies I invested in. They were called Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr. So that means that I made a lot of money, but it also means something important for this point. When I invested in Tumblr, which was the 3rd of those 3 investments back in 2006, I called my brother AJ and I said, you know, obviously I just invested in Facebook and Twitter 6 months earlier, 3 months earlier, and I called AJ. I had this meeting with David Karp, the founder of Tumblr, which was a New York-based tech company, which was unusual. And I called AJ and I said, bro, I just invested in the biggest one of them all. Tumblr will be bigger than Facebook and Twitter. First, thank God I did not make that video. Second, let me tell you why I said it. I said it because the mistake I made was I didn't take into consideration at the time the jockey, not the horse. Obviously, Ev Williams and Jack were more capable operators. Mark Zuckerberg was a more capable operator than David Karp. Now, David Karp still sold Tumblr for $1 billion years ago when $1 billion was like 50 billion now, right? So it was still a monster exit. But let me tell you why I thought Tumblr was gonna be the biggest. Facebook and Twitter, what I explained to AJ on that call, which I actually wish I did record so I could show it to you now and tell you how long I've been waiting for the TikTokification of social. Facebook and Twitter, you followed people. It was your social graph, and it worked like email marketing. We would all try to amass as many followers, and a percentage of our followers would open, like open rates, right? Get 1 million followers, 27,000 to 250,000 would see it. It worked like email. I understood that. I built my daddy's wine business on email. I understood. Tumblr was doing something different. You were following your interests. And you can tell them, right? Here it is, it's about to come. You see it?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. The reason I just got goosebumps is because I remember what I felt once I understood what Tumblr was doing, which was our interests are more powerful than the people we follow. As a matter of fact, all of our friends are almost solely based on our interests. We became friends on aligned interests. So I fell in love with Tumblr, and so for the people that follow me the most, and I've got some friends in the front that I know do, you remember 7 years ago, I went crazy on Musical.ly. The reason, and everybody was like, all right, this is the time Gary actually lost his mind. Why is an app that has 13-year-old girls dancing on it, why is he yelling about this? Because I saw the interest graph come back, and I knew that it started with 14-year-old girls, but we would all eventually be there because it's the most powerful thing. Now, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, Snap Discovery, Twitter, all of the platforms now are showing you higher percentage, and I believe TikTok included is not showing us enough of it. I think they should be pot committed to just showing us what we want to consume, because that's how the world actually works. And I think the future battle of who's gonna win this battle of these 4 or 5 companies is which algorithm goes all the way to just showing us what we want to be seeing instead of random stuff. How many of you are familiar with Star Wars? Enough, good. So I said to Rai, I'm building my communications Death Star, right? I have 2,000 employees around the globe, 300 people in APAC right now, 100 people in LATAM, 300 people in Europe. I'm building a communications Death Star. I'm the emperor, right? Actually, right? I'm the emperor. And with my communications Death Star, I can point it at anything I want. So 7 years ago, I pointed it at an app we incubated at Vayner called Rezi, and that was highly successful, and we sold that to Amex. 3 years later, I pointed my Death Star and sent some stormtroopers to go work there, and I pointed that at Empathy Wines, a direct-to-consumer wine brand, and we sold that to Constellation, right? A couple years ago, I made a really big bet, and I pointed my Death Star and a ton of stormtroopers and even a couple of Darth Vaders to something called VeeFriends, which is my Pokemon Sesame Street intellectual property.
Skeletor last night?
Yes, big collaboration. Skeletor and Skilled Skeleton at VeeFriends. So I'm building this communications Death Star. Anyway, just to come back to being Gary, I'm back to being Gary. I said to Rai, we're teaching a totally different skill. He's building an internal shop, he's my homie, I just heard that. The biggest fear I have is they know how to make the content, but they don't know the nuances of the distribution and how to make the content for the distribution. So they may know how to make great content. ESPN, the Jazz, everybody, there's a lot of talented storytellers. The problem is every storyteller that has been trained for the last 30 years was not trained in having to think about the distribution. The distribution was just the screen, 30 minutes, yeah, okay, I'm doing a sitcom, I gotta tell the story in 22 minutes, that was it. Today, there's not a single time that I post-produce video that I'm recording that I'm not thinking about how the algorithm works on LinkedIn. What is the features? Is it a carousel ad? Like, why am I posting on Instagram now a carousel two-post post where the first one's an image and the second one's a video instead of what I've been doing for 2 straight years, which is just a video? It's because I'm watching, I'm day trading attention. It goes much further than that with day trading attention. Influencer marketing is one of the greatest opportunities in marketing today to either get an obnoxious deal for $100,000 in 1 or 30 influencers and crush, or spend $100,000 on 1 to 30 influencers and get nothing. This is a skill of day trading all of pop culture, distribution, creative variables. So what I was saying to Rai was, look, if I'm right about this, and ironically, there's a great company based here that literally, where are they? They may be backstage. Literally, a week ago, an employee that worked for me for the last 9 years became the CMO of a company based in Utah. I just met the gentleman back in. They've been working with one of my agencies, that's where they met her. So yes, I do believe that a shocking percentage of Fortune 500 CMOs in 10 to 20 years would have been trained at VaynerX, and I'm really proud of that, and I want that for those employees, and I want that for the marketing world, because I believe that marketing today is in a shit show. I think we're wasting an obnoxious amount of money, and I think we need to fix it.